Good dream. He is Joseph.
I think we should clap for them, man. Mr. Chairman of the Committee on Land, Rail, and Air Transport, House of Representatives, other members of the National Legislature, Mr. Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Mr. Minister of Transport, Chairman, the members of the Board of Directors of the National Transit Authority, other members of the President's Cabinet, Mr. Acting Managing Director, officials and staff of the National Transit Authority, Mr. Inspector General of Police, and members of other paramilitary institutions, Madam Representative for Echo Bank, members of our illustrious choir, our traditional leaders, members of the clergy, other invited guests, members of the electronic and print media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On the occasion of the importation, cutting of the ribbon and dedicating of the buses to alleviate transport in this country, it is my pleasing duty at this time to present to you His Excellency Joseph President Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, who will make remarks on this
Sir, can you tell me he's blocking us?
Thank you so much. Please have your seats. How are you to you all? And thank you for coming. I want to thank you for coming. This is a day of celebration. And want to say we recognize our ministers here and officials, our elders, the women, the youth. I think sometimes it's good for some of you in the program, maybe you get to know some of our ministers. We have the Minister of Justice here. Then you have the Minister of Transport, and also a representative of our legislature who is responsible for some of these activities here. And also I want to recognize Chair of the Board, and in a very big way, ABK, being the young man who stood behind NTA to make this happen. We also want to recognize the bank. EcoBank has been here for a long, long time, and they have been involved in quite a number of activities, financing activities that we carry on. As a matter of fact, they are even financing the yellow machine that will soon be. I also want to recognize our ministers of the gospel who support us. I want to thank you all for being here. It's not a keynote address. It's a matter of assuring the Liberian people that this is the Liberian people time. It's a time for people to take ownership of our country, to enjoy the benefits of our country, and to celebrate the beginning of a time that is dedicated to serving our people. I want to thank the NTA with the help of the Minister of Transport, ABK, and all of you here with the Honorable Zhao Gibson. And Deputy Minister and the Minister of the young lady sitting next to him. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to our elders. Today is a fulfillment of every time we say something is happening, they say we're not happy. It ain't happening. Because we didn't come here to lie to the people. We have told you that we didn't come here to be president. We came here to change leadership of this country, to put in leadership that will serve the people. And so you can go to the southeast and it's going to be even better. You can go to Lofa. Even during the rainy season, it's not going to go back. I don't care what you say, it's going to just get better. So we want to say thanks to the motorcycle riders and the keke. You shouldn't forget people who stood in place when things were not happening. They are the ones who provided transportation when we things were difficult. We're just telling them that, and I tell them often, your future is not in motorcycle. Your children's future is not in motorcycle. Yeah, young people will create space for you. But I don't care how you go to the hospitals now, the number of accident cases for motorcycle, they are trapped. These are young people that belong to this country. So what we're trying to say is not to marginalize them, is to see how we can realign them with the development of the country for their own safety and their future. And we intend to do that. So today we want to thank them in a big way for their contribution in times when we needed them very much. And we still need them. But we also want an environment in which visitors come, investors, that people, our people will ride decently. They can ride in style. They can ride safely on their road. And their children. You know what it means for you to be putting some of these young ladies going to school, put them on the motorbikes and all of this. And even for yourself. So we want to thank all of those who have contributed in time past to make sure we are where we are. The buses that you see, unlike those that you know before, are not going to be buses that the government will go and take for private use. It's not going to happen. If the government does that, they will have to pay. It will not be free. There are buses for use for the people. And we're going to make that clear. Yesterday we had a meeting with the entity to make sure that maintenance is put in place, to make sure that the collection system is put in place, to make sure that stopping places. In other countries you go, they call it the 2 o'clock bus. It will be there 2 o'clock. Because if you have somewhere to go, you can time it with the bus. We hope that we get to that the bus will be there at that time. And the buses have to go out of town. They must have a system in Banga or somewhere where they will be maintained. That to say the bus break down, we got to bring it down. We discussed all of that yesterday. And also, we discussed the issue of payment. Sometimes money can be tempting, but we launched the digital program here, and we said the same way you buy a SIM card, you can pay the same. And I'm happy that I'm hearing that that's the method to teach our people how to do it and help them. So we want to give the Liberian people the life that they deserve. And we are not joking about it. You can take it other way, but we are very serious. All of the ministers you see here, people you see, are people who are committed. Today when I say, oh, this thing is happening, this thing is happening, don't worry. Things that are being happening 10, 15, 20 years, they can change overnight. But we're going to make sure that this country move in a direction that will serve our people, that will put dignity on the lives of our people, that will make sure that and for that reason, you see a lot of things happening. We came, it was not too long, Ethiopian Airlines came back. You soon see other airlines coming back. Serve our people, make sure. I show people now who have to go to China, they don't have to make several stops. They go direct. The job of government is to serve the people, to make sure that you make life better for the people. And that's what we are committed to doing. We are doing it, but we ask for the cooperation of society. Even as the buses come, orderliness, trying to enter, we make sure that the different routes or smaller communities where big buses can't go, smaller ones will be going. Even to the extent that we want to have an arrangement where government offices can be provided in buses maintained by the same group, so that the minister of travel will not be, whether I'm sending you to the garage, so they will take full responsibility to make sure that our people are respected, they are provided for. So today we are here to launch these buses, and in particular, when I'm riding, like going to Tottenham, you see small children on the sidewalk, and I'm always thinking, what if a car ran up the road? So there are a lot of ways that we're thinking about. One is that you heard, we're going to build more elementary schools shortly, so that at least schools that are within close. And it won't just be elementary schools, they will be built to standard, they will be built with computer programs so our children can begin to learn in good environment. And the safety, more schools in the right places will help the children not to be moving on the road. And where they move, I hope sometime we can find a way we can help them to minimize the risk of them being drawn into. And so Liberia is on the move. And this time around, I think some of you are doubting Thomas. You will say, oh, we've seen them before. But I can tell you, they're not going to go back. We're not going to allow it to go back. But I also like to thank the private bosses, the taxis and things. But the responsibility of government is to create an environment that will be helpful to the people. The private people will choose, I don't want to carry my budget. We have no choice. Our choice is one to serve the people, and that's what we're going to do. So today, we are here to launch these buses. They're not all, but to start with. And I would think that, I'm going to say that this time around, before the end of the time the rain season comes, the road to St. Paul Bridge will reach. It will be there so that we let the buses go on there. So I want to thank all of you for your understanding. By the time in which you've been going through all of this, you always wish for the good things in the other country. You want to create them here. This is our home. This is the country God gave you. And you just, everything you need in this country is here. All in need, good people with good intention to build their country. We went to the state, we launched the diaspora. The number of Liberians that are here that are coming by this Christmas, you'll be able to handle it. People are now feeling a part of their country, and that's what they should. And that's what we are here to do. The way in which we are thanked is to cooperate with us, to understand some of the difficulties that we're going through. You always hear the saying, to teach you, old dog, new trick is not easy. To stop people from corrupting is not a day thing. But we are trying, and we'll do it. Sometimes some of the things you hear, they die down. They don't die down and care. They will continue to pursue all of those who believe that the best way of life is to steal from the people, deprive them. The more they move, the more we move after them. And then it's going to happen. We don't have any friends when they come to that. Because the Liberian people are entitled to good living, they're entitled to good roads, they're entitled to good drinking water system. We put in water system in these cities. Right now in Playboy, in most of these places, they will have water, they will have better water. That's the job of the government. Electricity is going to continue. The only people who are vexed about electricity that is so good, but I beg them. We are paying them. We're not doing so to hurt anybody, we're doing so to improve life. So I want to thank all of you for your cooperation. I want to thank the people who hold these positions for making sure that these things happen. And we want to promise you, Liberia is moving, they're not going to go back. We're going to make sure that our country is respected again, that our country will provide services. Jobs are going to be created. Investors are going to come because the environment is there. It will take a while, but they are coming. One of the problems that we have, even with the Omega market, we're going to take it back. We prepare in a way for the women who would say they work for. It's not going to be for big people. The intention was to make that market for the market women. And we're going to do that. I don't care who complained. That was the purpose, and that's the purpose we'll stick to. So I want to thank you all, and I want to assure you that this country is on the rise and on the move. We need your cooperation, and it's going to happen under this watch. So thanks to all of you who have contributed so much to make this happen. People will begin to ride buses, and then they will ride in dignity, and that they will begin to see themselves as Liberians. And this is what they're entitled to. God bless you. We're going to do the dedication. And I understand we're going to ride a bus to the master. So who will start riding the first one? Thank you.
Folks, you just listened to President Boakai there addressing Liberians here and formally commissioned the 25 brand new buses belonging to the National Transport Authority, the NTA. So any moment from now, the President will cut the ribbon to formally commission these buses. You just heard from him that he will be taking the first ride on one of the buses.
Mr. President, thank you so much. We appreciate your statement. Of course,
once the ribbon is cut, President Boakai will ride on one of these buses and they will take him to the executive.
Giving better Liberia.
This has been a free program here for the dedication of the
I want to come to this
mass transport buses
Honorable Noah Zawu Gibson, Deputy Managing Director for Operations of the National Transport Authority, for a vote of thanks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Time fast spent. We're not going to be long. So, before I deliver the vote of thanks, be aware that the President is riding on one of the buses to take him to work. So be aware of that. Mr. President, I want to thank you in this public manner for the very first time since our appointment was announced on the 20th of February last year. But permit me to just share with you a very brief experience after announcing my appointment. When we were appointed, the three of us, I can tell you, Mr. President, I was the most criticized at the time, but it was done out of ignorance. Some of them who did it right now are regretting, Mr. President, because I will go down in the history according to what I hear most of them say as the best deputy for operation of the entity. I am quoting them, not me. Mr. President, permit me to address one major concern that you raised yesterday when you met us about the maintenance of the buses, which is very a valid concern. I can tell you, you can rest assured, these buses will be maintained. The reason why they will be maintained, let me make some important introduction. Is Mr. Lincoln, Joshua Lincoln here? Please stand. This is the technical manager. He is the one watching my back as the man who has operation. Where is Sidiki Kuyate, the chief mechanic? And all other mechanics, please stand, including the female mechanics. Mr. President, these people that I'm presenting to you, I'm introducing to you, have done so well with the support coming from the managing director, our boss, to maintain the existing old ones that we met that we were able to put life in. So if we can put life in these existing ones, just rest assured that with the support coming from the managing director and you don't have to worry about maintenance. These are some of the best mechanics we can boast of. And also permit me to recognize the drivers. The drivers are also the engine of moving these vehicles. All drivers, please stand, excluding the ones that are supposed to be in the buses are supposed to drive us. All driver, please stand. All right. I want to say, Mr. President, we have a lot of professional drivers here. You can rest assured as well that the process will be maintained. And lastly, the conductors. I want all our conductors to stand. Mr. President, the conductors are people who I can't stop praising. These people sacrifice their times from their homes. Some come to work. Even coming to work, they get attacked by criminals. They lose their personal belongings because they want to see a better NTA. I want to say, join me to say a very big thank you today, Mr. President. As I conclude in this vote of thanks, today the garage that you are seated on, as I indicated in the introductory comment of my vote of thanks, that I was criticized. But here's what I was able to do. Mr. President, it had not been for God and through my sensitivity of detecting environment, you would have no longer seen a garage and even the buses today that you gave the 300,000 to have them repaired, because I saved this garage and the warehouses from burning by detecting a fire in this place that even some who busted outside were here, they did not detect, and the administrative building got burned that we are about to rebuild today. So, Mr. President, you made no mistake. I am here every morning. I'm the first to arrive here and the last to leave, to ensure that operations are intact. The challenge that we face, I want you to handle the 3 directors. We still don't have vehicle, beginning with me. I cannot be the operation man for this entity, which is the engine of the department, of the entity, and I do not have a vehicle. Mr. President, this has to be handled expeditiously. That I can say. So with this said, we want to say a big thank you to all of you who graced this occasion. We want to say a very big thank you to the human resource people, all our senior managers, including the communities, the health and safety department, all other NTA employees. We want to say a very big thank you to you. The next time you come in here, Mr. President, will be to dedicate our administrative building, and this program will be bigger than this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
The voice of Noah Zahu Gibson giving vote of thanks there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Noah Zahu Gibson. Thank you. We have reached the end of the long journey. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a photo opportunity with His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai, the platform guests, along with the board members, and all other employees and guests. Please, all employees, remain seated. The photographer will take a very multi-dimensional, very good multi-dimensional photos for wherever you are seated. So at this point in time, we call on the board members to join the president and the other delegates for a photo opportunity.
I can't get him in. It's only again. It's only get one person for Mike. Remove the
Hello?
Funny. What do now? Your first time of passing yourself. Again,
So we'll now proceed the process where we do the cutting of the ribbon and then followed by the ride with the president.
Folks, President Boakai is riding in this bus that's right ahead of us here, this particular bus, to head to the executive mansion. So he's about to cut the ribbon. He'll cut the ribbon right here, and he's going to board that bus. He's going to board this bus, and of course, ride to the executive mansion today. You heard it from Noah Zau Gibson that President Boakai will be driving to work today in one of these buses. So it's already set. So we are with President Boakai as he cut the ribbon. That's funny. Funny. They say, are you riding? Yeah, I mean, but I just found me, then I open the back door. Yeah. They pick it up about 1:30. Yeah, open it one. Now when the president enter, we enter.
I said, go to the jar side, open outside for you.
Go tell the driver to open the back door.
What we doing now? We cannot make this possible.
Always smart.
That's my era. Close the back.
I said, wow, which was a battle.
So just witness President Boakai cutting the ribbon there. He's going to board the bus. Now President Boakai will test the digital system because he will be giving his entry card.
Bus by the head of ABC. One way to view the bus.
So President Boakai will ride this bus. He's about to make his way down here.
Then you also have at the right, which is the distance that you're going from if you went upstairs, I would see that you need it. If you don't bring water outside, you don't bring water. And both the side, we'll have an air channel right over the mouth. Every passenger that enters the car will be, they will check the passenger for the air control. And they'll be seeing on the beach how many passengers.
Where you going?
So Mr. President has already boarded the bus. He's already seated.
I was to take a match a history-making day for Liberia.
So right ahead of us here is President Boakai.
Just 2 seats ahead of us.
The blue hats is just 2 seats ahead of us. And one of His Excellency is already making its way to the executive mansion. So this bus is going to hold the convoy. This bus is going to
President to the executive. We have been also accompanied by our team.
Money outside. I want to get a shot from outside. Or around the executive party bus. So folks, that's President Boakai right there.
Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Please have a seat.
So I'm heading to the executive mansion. Ahead of us there is President Boakai driving to the executive mansion.
I'm the contractor for this bus. And we understand that most of our citizens don't have the card yet. So we'll be coming to you to pay a fare for here.
That's President Boakai seated here. He's driving to the executive mansion live.
So this is right to the executive mansion. We're now exiting the compounds of the NTA.
So now President Boakai is exiting the compound of the NTA. As you can see him, the NTA have instituted a digital payment system. So passengers will now be paying through a digital means. And of course also there's going to be security measures put in place on the bus, which will be done via CCTV cameras. They will all be installed. CCTV cameras will be installed on the bus. President Boakai will wave the president. The president is waving. He's waving to Liberians who are watching from outside.
So you can see the streets lined up with citizens.
Streets waving, lined up with citizens waving to President Boakai.
In the convoy.
So now we're already on the convoy now.
Accompanied by a lot of officials are in this bus with the president, the convoy, and they're heading to the grounds of the executive.
A smile on his face. His Excellency President Boakai driving on the NTA, riding on the NTA. Of course, waving to Liberians who are watching him from the side of the road through the window. Taking the first ride here. Of course, there are several government officials who are accompanying His Excellency here on the bus. Several of them. As you can see, we have ABK also here. We have the
Transport Minister was online. President Minister, how does it feel on this bus? You have the president in our midst. So, I mean, a lot of people will not. How did you get the president to ride the bus to the march? And these buses, I'm understanding from the NTA, they will have security measures, camera in the bus. And so the question will be, how will citizens be tutored on how to use the digital system that will be put in place? So, now the years coming on.
That's the Minister of Transport talking about his experience riding on the bus with Mr. President. And you see Mr. President is waving to Liberians through the window there.
Citizens are live in the waving to the president. Yeah, that president riding the bus. He has to experience what the citizens do experience. So he has just decided to ride this bus.
So if you're listening to us, we're coming to you live from the Japan Freeway, where President Boakai is headed toward the executive mansion and riding on the first commissioned National Transit Authority bus. And President Boakai, for the first time, purchasing a ticket using the digital system that's installed here on the NTA bus. Of course, Liberians who will be riding on the NTA bus will have to be purchasing tickets now. These tickets are digital tickets, and they will now be joining. They will now be swapping their cards or swapping their tickets. They will be swapping their tickets to have access to the bus beginning today. President Boakai is now with his motorcade behind this bus. Of course, he is headed towards the executive mansion. He keeps waving to Liberians through the windows with a smile on his face, having an awesome experience, being one of the first passengers to board this bus, first to buy a ticket, first to experience the digital system. And he's seated at the window seat, getting the natural air, but at the same time experiencing the cooling system here in this bus. Accompanying His Excellency are several officials of government. We have the Minister of Justice seated just one seat ahead of His Excellency the President, and also the Minister of Transport, Minister Sirleaf. We also do have ABK, the entity that did procure these buses, seated there, and of course from the angle of the National Transit Authority. And also the Inspector General of Police is also in here.
The Transport Minister with his helmet on his head, yellow in color, with NTA
President Boakai
sitting beside Terrence
efforts to improve the country's transport system. Imagine standing on the side of the road and the president waves to you. A lot of folks are not even expecting that President Boakai will be on board this bus. And then you see, you get to see the joy, the kind of experience they're having to see their president waving to them from the window of a transport bus. Quite interesting.
So keep watching.
So keep watching us and keep listening to EOBC Radio 99.9 FM, wherever you follow and listening to us from. We're breaking this live coverage to you live from the Hotel Freeway. We are driving towards the Executive Mansion, where His Excellency President Boakai having an experience driving on the newly commissioned 25 62-seater buses. And if you count from the driver's seat, President Boakai sits on seat. Of course, President Boakai sits on seat number 4, away from the driver, and sits at the window, waving to Liberians who are along the roadside. Of course, this is quite an interesting experience for Liberians across the country. This is an effort that His Excellency the President's government is making to contribute to the transport sector. And so if you're listening to us on URBC Radio, we want to let you know, of course, that President Boakai is riding on the NTA bus. Is riding on the NTA bus. Bought the first ticket.
NTA buses is transport His Excellency from
We're almost at the Freeport of Monrovia, where these buses were packed and offloaded. So wherever you're watching from, keep watching us, keep following us. Kindly leave your comments in the comment section. What do you make of the efforts that the government of Liberia is doing? Seeing Liberians, seeing President Boakai waving to Liberians, standing along the roadside. Welcome back, folks. We're still coming to you live from the convoy of His Excellency the President, President Boakai, riding on the newly commissioned National Transit Authority bus. And the President is still enjoying his ride towards the Executive Mansion, buying the first ticket and making his way to the Executive Mansion. The Liberian standing on the roadside, waving to His Excellency the President. So we're just around the Gibraltar Bridge, and here along the Vatan area. Here at the Vatan area, and if you look ahead of us, this is the Gibraltar Bridge right here, and we're going to get on at the Capitol Bypass. Any moment from now, we'll be at the Capitol Bypass. But right now we are riding on the Gibraltar Bridge. And the President is still waving to Liberians. As you see them out there, President Boakai is still waving to them. Also on board this bus we have Police IG. We also do have the heads of the Executive Protection Service. And of course several government officials accompanying Mr. President as he buys the first ticket and ride on board the NTA bus, driving towards the Executive Mansion with a smile on his face, of course, waving to Liberians who are along the roadside. And of course, happy that His Excellency is commissioning these buses today. And you must be listening if you listen to the conversation now that he's having with the Minister of Justice, appreciating nature, appreciating the river here, of course, while riding on the Gibraltar Bridge, Mr. President was looking at the Providence Island from above the bridge, and of course you should have heard him say, "Look how beautiful this place looks." Appreciating Liberia, appreciating nature. So we're now on the Johnson Street area, and Liberians are still lined up along the roadside, waving to His Excellency the President. You look out there, and of course President Boakai keep waving. And of course now the convoy will go towards the Broad Street Inn. The Liberians standing along the roadside. So President Boakai is now, of course, using the Broad Street area, and will eventually drive towards the. I can't imagine the joy in seeing your president waving to you from the window of a bus that he has just commissioned purposely to support transportation. And of course, for those of you watching from the diaspora or wherever you're watching us from, this is an awesome experience as President Boakai rides or take the first ride on the newly commissioned NTA buses that have been procured by ABK Motors, a Liberian company, a Liberian business. And President Boakai, in his message, congratulated them. And if you know the way Liberians have nicknamed President Boakai, you hear them saying Uncle or Uncle Joe from outside the windows. What an awesome experience. What an awesome experience this is. You should hear their sounds, you should hear their voices. Appreciating His Excellency the President. And just imagine, looking through the window and be like, "Yes, Mr. President, there he is." We show the sound issue has been fixed now. For those of you watching, kindly tell us if it has been fixed. And kindly tell us if the sound has been fixed now, folks. I think we've worked on it now. Kindly tell us if it's okay in the comment section for those of you following us.
So right now we have 1.5K followers.
And also leave your comments in the comment section. For those listening or watching, kindly tell us if we have restored the sound. And we are now using the UN Drive route, the famous UN Drive route, heading towards the Executive Mansion. And any moment from now, we will be there. We will be there at the Executive Mansion any moment from now. Liberians continue to cheer on. Liberians continue to cheer on as the president drives on. Mr. President, thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much. So as we drive on, we're heading towards the Executive Mansion here on the UN Drive. At any moment from now, we will be at the Executive Mansion, of course, as President Boakai makes his way to work on board the newly commissioned NTA bus. And the waving continues, the cheering on continues somewhere here at the ATS Stadium. And eventually we'll be at the Executive Mansion, of course, where we're hoping to hear from His Excellency the President. Of course, imagine the president waving to you. Imagine the president waving to you. Such joy. Imagine the president waving to you while you're on the roadside.
To the president as we approach the Executive Mansion. Ladies and gentlemen,
of course, folks,
we have had approximately
just a few moments ago, His Excellency was at the NTA headquarters there on the Japan Freeway, where he formally dedicated or commissioned the first batch of 60 vehicles that the NTA is actually purchasing, and 35 of them already in country, procured by ABK Motors. And President Boakai is sitting on seat number 4, or row number 4, as he drives towards the Executive Mansion. Of course, upon boarding the bus, President Boakai did use the digital system that has been installed on the bus, requiring passengers to pay using a ticket system. And President Boakai was the first to swipe in his ticket and board the bus for a round trip, I guess, to the Executive Mansion. We are now up Capitol Hill, right here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. And the excitement on the faces of Liberians.
we are now arriving at our stopping point, our destination.
So here we are. We are now arrived. We have now arrived at the Executive Mansion.
Yes.
And the bus will drive into the historic executive mansion with President Boakai making history. Of course, getting the first ride here. Here we are.
Successful.
Accompanying His Excellency President Boakai to work today are several government officials who in my mind have made history also. The Minister of Transport has made history. Of course, one seat ahead of President Boakai is the Justice Minister, who obviously did enjoy the ride.
We will have time.
And of course, President Boakai himself looking through the windows here. ABK at the same time on the other end, sitting right adjacent to the President. And making history for being the proud Liberian company. So we have to go down quickly, guys. We have to go down. We have to disembark the bus quickly. So we're trying to talk to President Boakai. You just have to be patient with us. Chief. Chief, I got my papa on the chair in the bus. Right in the back. Oh, okay. So we want to try our possible best to talk to President Boakai just as he's making his way out of the bus. Any moment from now, we will see President Boakai disembarking this bus here. So we want to see if we can walk on the mic as President Boakai disembark the bus. We're hoping to have a brief session with the President. So kind of stick with us quickly. So President Boakai is now making his way out. So there he is. We have President Boakai coming out. We want to see if we can have a word from him.
Mr. President, can you have a word with you, sir? Welcome to the media. My name is Nathan. How was it like being the first to purchase the ticket digitally on the first bus?
Good experience, nice ride, and I'm sure the people are very happy to see this happening in their country.
How you saw citizens waving to you as the president being in the bus and you waving back to them?
Well, I mean, some of them didn't expect it, they didn't know, but I mean, they were joyous, and we are grateful to them for appreciating what is happening.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Tell me. That was President Boakai. That was President Boakai addressing members of the press. We want to see if we can. President Boakai addressing members of the press there. Tell us if we have sound. We just switched mics. So tell us if we have sound. We just spoke to Mr. President. He was giving us his view. Yeah. We want to see if we can talk to ABK also. ABK is right here. See if we can have a word with him. But we are inside the executive mansion already, folks. This is the executive mansion right here, if you look here closely. We want to see if we can have a word with ABK quickly, but there he is. That's the CEO of ABK, the Liberian business that just procured the buses. So, how does it go ahead?
This is LNTV. This is Anthony Williams from LNTV. And this is Vanny from the Executive Mansion. And my name is Theophilus from PSN. Tell us, how do you feel as a businessman right now?
I feel happy because contributing to my country as large, it gave me joy. And looking at the challenges on the street, people moving from one place to another.
There were challenges.
Yeah, there were challenges. And putting together along with the team of ABK Incorporated, I feel quiet. So.
We did hear Mr. President commending your business and thanking you for taking up this endeavor. What does it speak to as it relates to the relationship of Liberian entrepreneurs and the government?
Yeah, my colleague right here, and also looking at our environment, if you can have billionaire in Nigeria over 10 to 20, if we can create our own in Liberia, this is nothing. I going pushing to make sure that the government gets this for 3-year credit. I think any Liberian entrepreneur, you have to step up off your game right now. Everything is possible. If I can do it, you can also do it. We just need a push from the government. If the government can give us the push, trust me, we can do imaginable things in this country.
From your end, what's the message to the business people in Liberia?
My message, number one, is honesty, delegation. Always put the trust first before the money. When people come and do business with you,
that's your pillar?
That's my pillar. You have to be honest what you do, and always, even the client don't know the spec of things that you're giving them, go beyond and do it. Like the fire truck we get it last time. We built a fire truck beyond what we even paid for.
Wow.
So coming back to the NTA, giving the boss to the government credit because we trust them, I think that also gave another difference.
How many items have you been able to purchase for the government? With the exception of
what we give the government right now is 60 units, 20 million buses, and we gave the 5 cargo truck to be able not to overload the bus. So, for example, you can be in Maryland, you call for your goods, you don't need to come in Monrovia.
Really?
The truck will take your goods there, and the good part about the truck, you have every component for every county.
Wow.
So if you stop in Kakatan, we have component for Kakatan. If you stop in Ganta, you have component for Ganta.
Okay.
So they don't need to losing a whole truckload of goods and diverse it to based on timing. So we build it on that.
We see you introducing this guy. Who is he?
This is Sheikh, one of my bosses.
I'm Sheikh Gallo, the president of the Queensway Business Association.
Okay.
I'm also an institutional member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, and a Liberian business has been empowered. You heard Mr. President commending ABK. You coming from the organizational angle, how does it feel as, a Liberian business owner and someone who is part of the association?
Today is an excitement moment for every Liberian businesses. This is what we say, giving back to the Liberian businesses. Times past, we don't even see contract with government between Liberians and government. Or what we used to see is between government and foreign-owned businesses. Today we are seeing this kind of contracts given to a Liberian own. I mean, this is something that is worth commending. We want to commend the government. I think under the leadership of His Excellency, Liberia they're going to create a Liberian millionaire in the business enterprise from what we are seeing.
Okay.
Once the government can prioritize Liberian owned businesses, I can assure you, we're going to get Liberian millionaire. So we want to thank the government. I want to see many of these things in the private sector where you can privatize Liberian owned businesses.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Folks, we just spoke to ABK. ABK is the entity that procured the buses, and we are in the executive mansion. You heard from President Boakai telling us about his experience riding on the bus from the NTA compound here at the executive mansion. The Justice Minister also now departing the executive mansion. So wherever you watched us from, we'd like to say thanks for watching and bye-bye for now.